Satisfy your need for happiness through your own curiosity with the Ranveer Show. And I'd love for you to tell us how one goes from being a millionaire in real estate to being a billionaire in real estate. It's just focusing on the product.
You have to think of growth. In different lines, growth have different measures of growth. So, and Akshay Kumar does 4 big movies in a year. Other actors can do only 2. How does he do 4? How do I grow from 5 acres to 50 acres of business? The methodologies are different, the fundings are different, the design ideas are different, and you grow it. You may get funds from capital markets, you can get funds from investors, there are private equity players, there are REIT players, and other things which are available today, which were not available a couple of years ago. There are people who are willing to do development manager models. So today we have for the real estate or people getting into the real estate, lots of people who are entering into joint ventures and others. Look at the societies. All the societies are going for redevelopment. They are joint venture between the society and a developer. So that's also a joint venture. So there are small developers who are there today in the line. There are big developers in the line. There are huge developers in the line, like we have Lodha's doing the fantastic job. KP Singh in DLF in Delhi doing a fantastic job. So we have large players and small players also. So opportunity in the real estate is fantastic. And you can be a channel partner, you can be a developer, you can be a supplier, you can be a contractor, you can be a designer, you can be an architect, you can be an RCC consultant, you can be a MEP player, you can supply marble, you can do 1,000 things. There are 260 industries connected with real estate. Amount is enormous, and the next couple of years, the amount of explosion in real estate is unbelievable. It's more than media. So can you imagine? Media is growing so fast, real estate is growing even faster. So opportunity in real estate has grown exponentially. In the next 5 years, it's going to grow compound of that. A 15-20% growth compounding next 5 years.
Again, I'm trying to get to the core of what separated you. So I've got compounding just in terms of time and experience. I really feel that you stuck to this one industry, one process for so long that as the years go by now, you're seeing heavier and heavier growth every year. I think it's these 2 things. And when it comes to the time aspect, I think you've taken care of your physical health and your mental health very well. And I know you're a very supportive wife.
Very.
And I think, like, I'm just trying to break down your mind, sir. If you don't mind, that's what this process of this podcast is for me. But would you add any other factor in terms of what helped you break out of the pack?
No, I will first go to the other part which you said. What else is important?
Sure.
Let me add that. Because you mentioned 5 or 6 things, and I'd like to add one more thing. What makes Tata's difference after 150 years? Jewelry was considered a line where a lot of people did unethical practice. But when Tata's entered into jewelry, nobody ever doubts even 1/4% that there may be any milawat in it or any mixing in it. When they make anything and come into the marketplace, you trust them. That survives beyond all difficulties and downfalls. So if there is one thing that survives anything and anything in the long run in the world of business is ethical values that you believe in and the trust belief that they have in you. That makes you survive beyond your lifetime. Even if you're not there, it will still survive you. Otherwise, it will not survive. So even if you make a good product, but if you're unethical, even if you're got quality conscious, but if you're not ethical values, if people don't trust you for what you're doing, it doesn't matter whether you're buying a watch or you're buying a building or whatever you're doing. The moment you get into the trust thing, that is what survives 35 and 40 years. And no matter what you may say, that will always survive. And it doesn't matter if I'm doing medicine in my hospitals or I'm doing education of 45,000 students in my colleges or 16,000 in my schools. The parents will trust me for a good education or good hospital that will be there. The ethical values will always be there. That will always survive in any environment, anywhere in the world.
Even one's reputation compounds.
Reputation, somebody may try to destroy your reputation by picking up one fault of yours or one fault of mine. They go, oh, usme badmashi ki. One building, some problem took place. And they will try to malign your name. But people, the rest of the 50,000 people who have purchased from me will say, nahi, we know Hiranandani for 40 years. Iska kaam nahi hai. The newspaper may say something. Anybody will say anything else, but those people will not say. Those who have belief in the Tata brand will always trust the brand. And that is why it survives for 150 years. Not because they are super intelligent or super smart or anything like that. Of course, they are super smart in the business of business. That is a taken. You have to be. But over and above that, that is what will always survive people to do it. You're a good doctor. You think the doctor is able to cure every patient? No way. Everybody has to die. So patients who come to a doctor also die. And some operations are successful, some are not. But they believe in you. My father was 82 and he was going to stop operative work. A patient who had a cancer was told by Tata Cancer Hospital that we cannot, you're inoperable. Came to my father. My father said, I'll operate you. You may die on the table, but if you survive, you will survive for 10 years. And one of the last operations my father did in Bombay Hospital was to do that cancer operation that he did, and that patient survived. There's no equivalent of all that. So when there are values that you have given in life or whatever it is beyond you. It's not the product or the car that you give or the house that you give. It's what you deliver in terms of values. That survives. And there is no equivalent of that anywhere. You pick up a phone, you're 100% sure that that phone will work. Why? You have faith in that. That is the difference between what other people will do in the business of business because it's only for the sake of money. And the others who will do the business of business and they do want to make money. I also want to make money in the business of business. But that's not the only objective.
Gotcha. So, compounding in terms of ability and excellence, longevity, and I'd call this whole aspect integrity, long-term integrity. Right? These are the three pieces for long-term growth.
100%.
And then tackling all the lows as well along the way. That's a part of it.
Lows nahi hoya to we will not remember this person called God in our lives. If you don't have lows, then you don't remember that there is an Almighty who has given you life.
Do you think about God more as life moves forward?
Well, I'm a trustee of 3 temples, so obviously I do think of God and in the ritualistic sense. But I believe I'm a karma yogi rather than a dharma yogi. So I would spend some time in prayer, but my time in prayer is short. But my time in terms of doing karma are long.
What do you pray for?
Goodness for the whole world, for my family, for the entire people and every person in this earth, and also all the people that I touch and who I move around. God bless them.
Okay. If you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out these curated playlists that we've made especially for you related to the subject that was spoken about in this clip.